He woke up late again, but this time he didn't even react. No frustration, no sudden guilt, no promise to fix things. Just a blank stare at the ceiling, as if his mind had finally accepted defeat. The alarm had rung earlier, he remembered that clearly, that sharp sound cutting through his sleep for a few seconds, giving him a chance to choose differently. But like always, he had turned it off without thinking, without fighting, without even realizing that in that small moment, his entire day had already been decided. The sunlight was already filling the room. People outside had started their day, movement, purpose, direction. And he was still lying there, stuck between who he wanted to be and who he kept proving himself to be. He slowly reached for his phone, not out of interest but out of habit. And within seconds his thumb started scrolling video after video, face after face, people living lives that looked disciplined, controlled, successful, and with every swipe, something inside him sank deeper. Not because he was jealous, but because he knew he wasn't incapable, he just couldn't control himself long enough to become who he imagined. Minutes passed, then an hour, then more, and when he finally sat up, the day already felt wasted. And the worst part was not that he failed again, but that it felt normal now, like failure had quietly become part of his identity. There was a time when he used to believe he was different, that he had something inside him that others didn't, a drive, a vision, a hunger to do more, to become more, to escape the average life that surrounded him. He used to plan things, think deeply about his future, imagine a version of himself that was disciplined, focused, respected, someone who woke up early, worked hard, controlled his mind, controlled his time, controlled his life. But somewhere along the way, that version of him started fading, not because life was too hard, not because opportunities were missing, but because every single day, in the smallest moments, he kept choosing comfort over control, and those small choices slowly built a life he never wanted. He tried to fix it, of course he did. He wasn't careless, he wasn't completely lost. He searched for answers the only way most people do, through motivation, through external energy, through words that sounded powerful in the moment. He watched videos late at night, listening to people talk about discipline, success, mindset, control, and for a few minutes, sometimes even hours, he felt different, stronger, awake. Like something had finally clicked. He would sit up, take a deep breath, and say to himself, "This is it, this is the moment everything changes." And in that moment, he truly believed it. He believed that this version of him would last, that this time he would not go back, that this time he would take control. But the next morning always told a different story. Because when the alarm rang, when the comfort of the bed wrapped around him, when the mind whispered its usual excuses, all that motivation disappeared like it was never real. And he followed the same pattern again: delay, distraction, avoidance, regret, and slowly, painfully, a new belief started forming inside him. Not loud, not obvious, but deep and dangerous. Maybe I'm just not that person. And that belief hurt more than any failure because it attacked his identity, not just his actions. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and his life became a loop that he couldn't escape. He would try again, fail again, until trying itself became exhausting, until even the idea of change felt heavy, unrealistic, distant. His room became smaller, not physically, but mentally. It felt like the walls were closing in, like every corner held memories of wasted time, unfinished plans, broken promises to himself. And at night, when everything went quiet, his thoughts became louder, reminding him of everything he was not doing, everything he could have been, everything he was slowly losing: time, energy, potential. And the worst part was that he understood all of it. He was aware, painfully aware, yet still unable to act consistently, unable to control himself in the moments that mattered. One evening, after another day lost to nothing, something inside him shifted. Not a burst of motivation, not a sudden wave of energy, but a quiet exhaustion, a deep realization that he couldn't keep living like this. He stood up slowly, almost mechanically, put on his shoes, and walked out of his house without a plan, without direction, just a need to escape the space that reminded him of his own lack of control. The streets were calm, the air was slightly cold, and for the first time in a long time, he wasn't holding his phone. There was no distraction, no noise, just the sound of his footsteps and the weight of his thoughts. And it felt uncomfortable, almost suffocating. Because now there was nothing to hide behind. No screen to escape into. No content to numb his mind. Just him and the truth he had been avoiding for so long. He walked aimlessly, his mind replaying moments, small decisions, ignored alarms, endless scrolling. postponed work, empty promises, and with every step, he felt the reality more clearly. It wasn't that he didn't know what to do. It wasn't that he lacked dreams or intelligence or even opportunity. It was something else, something deeper, something harder to face. After walking for what felt like hours, he noticed an old man sitting on a worn-out bench under a dim streetlight, completely still, completely calm, as if time itself had slowed down around him. There was nothing special about his appearance, but there was something powerful about his presence, something controlled, grounded, unaffected. The young man hesitated for a moment, then sat beside him, not because he expected anything, but because something about that stillness felt different from the chaos inside him. They sat in silence for a while, and strangely, it didn't feel awkward. It felt heavy, meaningful, like something important was about to unfold. Then the old man spoke, without looking at him, his voice calm but firm. "You're tired of starting over, aren't you?" The young man froze slightly, surprised, but didn't respond. The old man continued, "You think you need motivation, but motivation is the easiest thing to find and the hardest thing to keep." The young man turned his head, curiosity mixing with confusion. "Then what am I missing?" he asked quietly. The old man finally looked at him, his eyes steady, almost piercing. "Control," he said simply. "You don't lack motivation. You lack control." The words didn't explode, they didn't shock him instantly, but they settled deep, like a truth he had always known but never fully accepted. The old man picked up a small glass bottle lying near his feet. Inside it, water was constantly moving, shaking even with the slightest motion. "This is your mind," he said. "Always reacting, always chasing comfort, always avoiding effort." Then he held the bottle still, firm, steady, and slowly the water stopped moving. "And this is control." The young man watched carefully, his thoughts slowing down, connecting pieces he had never connected before. "You don't fail because you don't want success," the old man continued. "You fail because when the moment comes, you don't control your actions, you follow your feelings." The young man thought about his mornings, his habits, his patterns, and for the first time, he saw it clearly, not as a mystery, but as a repeated choice, a lack of control in small moments that built his entire life. That night, he went back home. Nothing around him had changed. The same room, the same bed, the same environment, but inside him, something was different. Not motivation, not excitement, but awareness. The next morning, when the alarm rang, the battle started again, the same voice, the same pull. "Stay in bed, start tomorrow, you need rest." But this time he noticed it, he didn't react instantly, he paused. And in that pause, something new existed, a choice, a small but powerful space between thought and action. And instead of obeying, he moved, slowly, heavily, but intentionally. He got out of bed. It didn't feel good, it didn't feel powerful, it felt difficult, unnatural, almost forced, but it was real. That day wasn't perfect, he still struggled, still got distracted, still felt the urge to quit. But every time he noticed the urge, he practiced one thing, not reacting immediately, creating space, choosing action instead of comfort, and slowly something began to change. Days passed, then weeks. The battles didn't disappear. If anything, they became more visible, more intense, because now he was aware of them. Every decision felt like a test. Every moment of discomfort felt like a challenge. Sometimes he failed, sometimes he gave in, but something was different now. He didn't collapse completely, he returned faster, he regained control quicker, and those small recoveries started building something inside him, something stronger than motivation, consistency. He realized that his thoughts never really changed. They still told him to quit, to rest, to delay, but he no longer treated them as commands, just signals, just noise that he didn't have to obey. Slowly, his actions started aligning with his intentions, not perfectly, but consistently enough to create progress. And with progress came a new identity, not someone who waits to feel ready, but someone who acts despite not feeling ready. Months later, sitting in the same room that once felt like a prison, he looked around and felt something unfamiliar. Not excitement, not pride, but control, a quiet confidence that didn't depend on motivation. Because he knew something now that most people never truly understand. Motivation starts you, but control transforms you. He no longer needed to feel inspired to act. He no longer waited for the perfect mood. He simply did what needed to be done, regardless of how he felt, And that changed everything, not overnight, not magically, but permanently. Because at the end of the day, the truth is simple and uncomfortable. You don't need more motivation, you need more control over your actions, your habits, your responses, because a man with motivation can start, but a man with control keeps going. And that is the difference between dreaming about a better life and actually building one. If the story touched you, like, share and subscribe for more stories.